Hello, it's Stuart, the Unrepentant Atheist. Thanks for visiting my channel. So I want to comment on this tragic circumstance with Salman Rushdie being attacked in New York, I believe. He was attacked on a stage. He's currently in hospital. I believe he's recovering. He's been stabbed several times. At the heart of it, obviously, is his book, The Satanic Verses. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but I understand the young man who attacked him is a Muslim. And it seems fairly certain his motivation would be trying to settle a score for Islam. There's this fatwa which has been hanging over Salman Rushdie for the last 40 odd years. I believe there's a reward of $3.3 million being offered by Iran for Salman Rushdie's life. Thank goodness that they failed. Thank goodness that it looks like Salman Rushdie is going to survive and hopefully bounce back from this. Although I guess that it will significantly change his life, and he was celebrating the fact that he was starting to live a normal life again. This dreadful event proves that his life still is in danger, as it always has been. I'm only surprised that it's taken this long for something like this to happen. Hopefully he will get back to full health and continue with his glittering literary career. As for Islam, there has been obviously issues over the year with Charlie Hebdo and various other assassinations and killings after perceived insults to Islam. Rudyard Kipling wrote a short story some time ago about a young girl who had two arms chopped off because she was having an affair with a Western man. She was a young widow, and she was basically kept in a room all day, and she was tired of obviously her life, and an Englishman was visiting her every evening and satisfying her desires. Her family found out and they cut both of her arms off, and as Rudyard Kipling said, maybe it's best if two cultures keep themselves as separate as possible. I can see his point. Obviously, we have very different cultures in the West compared with Islamic countries. We tend to have separation of religion and the state. And in Islamic countries, they have Sharia law, they have blasphemy laws. And if you take two very different cultures, two very contrasting cultures, and put them together, occasionally they can explode, as they did do with obviously that story, Rudyard Kipling, and as we saw with Charlie Hebdo and other situations, when Western free speech impinges upon Islamic sensibilities, there can be very violent reactions. I've only ever insulted Islam once in the 90s, and I did it to provoke a reaction I was doing a college course, and there were some Muslims saying, Islam's been misrepresented, it's a very peaceful religion. We're actually very reasonable people. I insulted Islam. I regret it now. I wish I hadn't done. It was unnecessary, really, because I did hurt their feelings, and I regret that. And I shouldn't really have done it just to prove a point. It was childish of me, really. But I did insult Islam, and I provoked a violent verbal response, a lot of anger, and I felt I made my point very well. But I do regret it. There was no need for that, and I think that my position now on freedom of speech is that I would defend anybody's freedom to insult religion. Personally, when exercising this right of freedom of speech, I try to make reasonable, rational decisions. I made, I think, a fairly irrational decision in the 90s when I chose to insult Islam. I think I shouldn't have done that, looking back at it. And we've got this right, freedom of speech. We also have the right, freedom to insult religion. It's not enshrined in law, but it's not forbidden. I try in my life not to hurt people's feelings and not try to insult them. And I personally now, even though I've made this channel and, I say that Christianity is not true, I say that Islam is not true, Hinduism is not true, neither is Buddhism. And I don't believe that in particular me rejecting all the religions is me insulting any religion in particular. We know what offends Muslims. They don't want to see Muhammad depicted in any way, in any illustration. They don't want to see their religion mocked as such. They don't mind being told their religion's not true. They have tolerated Christians, they've tolerated other religions who obviously think Islam's not true, and they don't consider that to be an insult. But they've been quite clear about what they do consider to be an insult and what hurts their feelings. And being a fairly reasonable kind of person, I try to go through life avoiding hurting people's feelings. And for that reason, I can't really see that I would have any reason to insult Islam. But at the same time, we can't make special cases. And there's no law against blasphemy. There's no law against insulting religion. So it's up to each individual, each one of us, to make that choice about how we exercise our freedom of speech. As for Salman Rushdie, I would defend his right to publish the Satanic Verses. And I haven't read it. I probably will read it now. I've read Midnight's Children, and I thought it was a fabulous novel. I did start reading The Moor's Last Sigh, but couldn't quite get into it. But the Satanic Verses, I've never read it. I would like to read it now. Partly is I'd like to see what is in that book that insults Muslims, to the extent, obviously, to what they've done, or at least to what one of them has done, and that obviously Iran has got this $3.3 million bounty on Salman Rushdie's head. So that's about it, really. I don't really think there's anything much more to say. I'm sure that there will be a lot more talk about freedom of speech. I'm looking forward to watching the Atheist Experience later on tonight. I'm not sure if Matt is on, but if he is, I'm sure that he will make some comment on this. I don't know what. I haven't seen Matt insulting religion at all, or at least I haven't seen Matt insulting Islam or going easy on Islam. I don't think any of us atheists who've got channels are going easy on any particular religion. Just because we're not insulting religions doesn't mean to say that we're going easy on them. We're debunking them. We're saying why we think they're not true. And that's all we're doing, really. And at the same time, I won't insult Islam just to make a point. I don't really see any need in that, and I don't want to upset anybody. I can state my case and be critical without obviously going around insulting people. So that's my view on the whole thing. I don't know what you think. I'm going to upload this now and look forward to your comments. Bye for now.